Sorry.
How are you? Tired, but all right. Can we watch the Colbert Show on YouTube while we're waiting?
Our air, we're on the list here. Install this. Good job with the guys around us. All work today.
What a surprise.
It's a sweet. No, but did you see the one I left for you that should be a part reservation application? We'll have to add that to the regular meeting agenda because they're asking for the sound amplification.
Should be able to add that one to the consent agenda.
Oh, can you?
For that one, yeah, those ones we usually.
Pretty
do.
straightforward. No, do I need to probably provide everybody with a copy of that, Joe? Yeah, I can just print it off.
This does not mean no changes to it, right?
No, it's the industrial park. It's all that's being done. It's just a big circle around the industrial park. That's it. That's all that it's doing. It's just saying anything that is there
It's not
and in the
expanded.
future, it stays in the industrial park.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Just grab a protein shake, type in.
Oh, yes. Yep. I'll get it for you. We should have that in between. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna make sure just like I did.
Well, yeah, I don't, but not like that. Busy. It's fine. 8:30, circles out, it's like 9:30, you know, so you do that, and come back maybe 7 minutes.
Well, I'll always like.
No study sessions, no special meetings, no Wednesdays.
It's like Amy.
Oh,
Imagine me, you.
I don't even know if they have it here or if it's in the last.
Well, like,
Good evening.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. And then we've also had students, come to us and Gen Ed and then transfer them.
Hey, Donovan, how are you?
I think we're good. We're good for him now. Nora attached.
Hi,
She'll be here in about 5 minutes.
Did you sneak in? How you doing? He was busy. My wife apparently planned a lot of stuff and didn't fill me in until the 11th hour. She's like, guess what we're doing this weekend? I'm like, well, thanks for cluing me in.
Just appreciate the fact that you're
All right, folks, we'll go ahead and get started with our study session. So I will call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just a reminder for all of us to turn our microphones on. See the green light, you know it's on. And then also to turn off cell phones or put them on silent. And council members make sure they are off the desktop. So if I can get a roll call, please.
Councilmember Williams,
Present.
Reed,
Present.
Jackson, Lawler,
Here.
French,
Here.
and Mayor Snyder.
Here. So we are just going to go through our agenda items that are on the regular council meeting, and we'll just go down the line to see if we have any questions or need discussion. So our first one is to approve the candidate to fill Precinct 5. We will be voting on this during our regular council meeting. Any comments or questions? All right, then we'll go on down to approving our second reading, the adoption of Ordinance 2022-04. And this is to approve of the overlay district for adult use marijuana. Any questions or comments?
That's the same as the one we voted on the other week?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
just
this
the
is the
second
second reading.
Okay.
Good there?
Yeah.
Okay. Approve the second reading for the adoption of the ordinance 2022-05, but in regards to the terms for our members on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Do we have any questions or comments related to that item?
Nope.
I have a quick follow-up. Colin, can you re-explain to me how we're going to do this staggering? So the current, we have 4 members on committee now?
There's four seats currently filled
3, okay.
and 3 vacant. And so at the end of these terms in December, the subsequent terms for one term, some of the seats will be 1-year terms and the balance will be 2-year terms.
Okay.
And then at the expiration of those terms, they'll resume 2-year terms. So 3 of the seats will be offset from the other 4 seats in alternating years.
Okay. Okay.
Because they're all set to expire by the end of this year, correct?
Correct, because
Correct.
the
Right.
board was
That was the-
essentially vacant for like the first year.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? The next item we will be discussing is adding a member to the rental certification subcommittee. We will be replacing Linda Lanou. She was originally selected to be on that committee. We will need to place a third person. So do we have questions or comments on that?
So I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm to assume then that it must be a member of council?
Yes.
It's on that committee, okay.
The next item will be the resolution 2022-24. And this is to approve the grant agreement with the Community Foundation Office in regards to getting speed signs. No questions or comments?
What's on that one?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Jackson.
On that right there, is that a mattress something? I see that you're getting a couple as well, and that one?
Yeah, so this will cover one, the purchase of one sign, and then we will purchase an additional sign from the Public Safety Forfeiture Fund. So this is to just buy one sign.
The next is our approval of the first reading of Ordinance 2022-06. And this is the Disturbing the Peace ordinance. This was requested to be on the agenda by our attorney. Hopefully we've read through that.
Can you elaborate something?
Sure. So there was a case some years ago that, I don't want to necessarily say it undercut all the municipalities disturbing the peace ordinances, but it weakened them because it kind of called into question how municipalities define what is a disturbance. So last year, the Michigan Supreme Court came out with a jury instruction that set forth some very specific definitions for the specific offense of disturbing the peace. So what we've done is we've basically taken those sections from the jury instruction and integrated them into our ordinance verbatim. So now our ordinance tracks with what the Supreme Court uses as its model instruction for this is what constitutes a disturbance. So we've just updated it using those definitions from the Supreme Court to more or less bring us into compliance with state law.
So does that broaden us as well?
Does
Does it make it broad where we could,
It actually narrows
it
it.
narrows it?
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments in regards to that ordinance?
Yeah, I got a question. So Cullen, was our ordinance that we had previously more vague or loose? Like how?
Yes, it was more vague because our ordinance really didn't define what is a disturbance. It just said, no one shall engage in a disturbance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it didn't really say what a disturbance is. And there's some case law in Michigan that says, well, when you just say disturbance, that could mean just about anything.
Right.
And so by adding the definitions provided by the Supreme Court, it significantly clarifies what constitutes a disturbance. And that way, if we were to ever be challenged on the ordinance, we know we're going to be beyond reproach because we've mirrored the language from the Supreme Court.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments? And then lastly, last item is to approve Resolution 2022-25 to recognize the Community Foundation as a nonprofit so that they can obtain gaming licenses from the state of Michigan. Do we have questions? Yes, Councilman French.
Is that an annual thing that has to happen? Because working for a nonprofit, when we get a gaming license to hold our raffles and things, we don't have to get city council approval every year. so I'm just curious. Have we never done it before and
I
are
don't know
now
if this
doing it,
was-
or?
I don't know if this has ever been established. Do you have insight on that?
I don't know if the community foundation, but so far with the Walk the Beat, we've kind of done it on an annual basis. They came before last year
Okay.
to get the resolution to support their application when
Oh,
they
I
did
see.
the
Okay,
raffle.
okay.
We approved it a few months ago for this year's Walk the Beat.
Okay.
So I believe the community foundation, they'd like to have a raffle at their upcoming golf outing, so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you.
So is it that they do it just for support, so it looks stronger, their application looks stronger? Is that what it is?
No, but it's a requirement for the application. They have to be identified as a actual nonprofit. So it's a application requirement. So
Oh, okay,
as the
for the
local,
nonprofit.
yeah, governing body, you guys are just declaring that they are a formal nonprofit organization.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine, being that they've been in the city for so long.
Oh, and their 501c3 status.
Right.
That's sort of like the feds not talking to the state.
My
Gotcha.
concern was, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor, my concern was just what type of gambling, but you already spoke of that. It was just raffling
Yeah,
and
it's
something
just for-
for just a one-time.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
Did you want to? It's Councilmember Jackson. Did you want to go back to the first one?
Oh,
Your
yep.
Question?
I'm sorry. We did already kind of go through a couple before you got here. But did you
Sorry for
have-
my lateness.
No, that's okay. Did you have any comment in regards to our Precinct 5 council seat?
I mean, kind of, what did you go up with them? That was nothing, no more than just be, okay, all right. All right, sounds good. We can leave it as that.
And then we discussed or asked if there was any questions on the second reading.
Of the mirror,
Yeah,
the mirror
overlay.
overlay. Okay.
Do you have any questions or comments on that?
You know, Cullen, I always like for you to abbreviate what's inside of that.
Sure, it's just, so basically, right now, there are two overlay districts that encompass certain parcels within the industrial park. What this does is it just creates one overlay district that completely encircles the industrial park. So you're going from two smaller overlay districts to just one large overlay district around the industrial park. And that's it.
Okay.
It just
Combine it
updates the
together.
definitions contained within the zoning to accomplish that fact.
Okay, combine the two guys. All right, thank you.
Sure.
And then you were here for our third item, so we got you
Yes,
caught up with that one. Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. Public comments. At this time, we will open up the floor to anybody who's in the gallery that would like to make comments on any item. I don't think it's necessarily just specific to agenda. So if there's anybody who'd like to stand and speak, just please give us your name, your address, and 3 minutes is yours.
My name is Gloria Fisher. My address is 1207 Fitch, so I live in Precinct 5. And I'd like to know if I am in order to speak to my approval or my speaking to Vivian Davis being selected as a Precinct 5. Is that in order at this time?
Yep.
Okay. I've known Vivian Davis, and I want to speak to you in 3 different ways. I know her as a neighbor. She lives about 7 lots down from me. She lives on Huntington and Fitch, and I live about 7 lots south of her on Fitch. So we've been neighbors for 28 years. I also know Vivian as a colleague. I am a retired Albion Public School special education teacher. And Vivian and I had a chance to work together, especially with my special education middle school students in their transition to the high school. Vivian was a counselor at the high school, and I found her very helpful as a colleague in that particular way, and also we've worked on several things statewide through MEA. The last thing I want to talk about is the contacts that Vivian has. I've known Vivian for a long time. She knows people who know people who know people who know people. And I think that the council would find her very helpful in seeking information, opinions, et cetera, when you're making your decisions at the council level. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the gallery that would like to take this time to speak?
address you guys early tonight, huh? Or earlier this evening.
You could do it twice.
Yes, sure, it's true. Been gone all day today. This was the perfect timing, absolutely. Well, certainly, Madam Mayor, council members, City Manager Snyder, Clerk Domingo, the folks watching this evening, Gary Tompkins, your County Commissioner. It's great to be with you folks. I just want to give you a couple updates. I'll be very brief this evening. First and foremost, the County Treasurer's Office is offering a hardship extension to anyone who is having issues paying their property taxes. So if you know of anybody, certainly, that you even know of anybody that needs some help, in my newsletter, I provide all the information. Give them a call. They can set up payments, take a lot of opportunities to be able to keep people in their homes so that they can actually take advantage of that opportunity. County Parks, that new park is officially open. I believe if I say it correctly, Minwabec, correct? Minwabec Park, just south of Riverside Cemetery. What a great addition, certainly, to have our first county park on the eastern side of Calhoun County. I know a lot of people were there on June 4th, and it was a great celebration, so it was great to see that. And then also, too, if you get a chance, I know many of you might have seen it. I know, unfortunately, my dad, who passed, tomorrow will be 3 months, he didn't get a chance to do this or get to see this, but the wall that heals from July 14th through 17th at Harper Creek High School, for those, it's a Vietnam traveling wall, and it's a quite emotional, moving thing. I actually was able to observe it down in Washington, D.C., the actually permanent one there, but I wish my dad would have been here to actually to see that going forward. So if you know any Vietnam veteran that certainly would like to do that, let them know that that's an opportunity to be here. It's the only time it'll be here in the state of Michigan this year, so it's an excellent opportunity for that. So I'll cut to that, and we'll go right into what I need to talk to you this evening about. You know, folks, we're 28 days away from an election, a primary election, and this is a very consequential election, certainly for the city of Albion, because the primary election, August 2nd, is between myself and my opponent. And I just tell you, over the last 6 years, I've had an absolute honor and privilege to represent the residents of the 7th District, as well as my dad's hometown, Albion. And during that time, we've been able to do a lot of things together, whether it be precinct meetings, Precinct 1, Precinct 4, Precinct 3. I've been there to make sure that I support you folks, because the work that you do is very important. I want to make sure I'm there and to help in any way that I possibly can. Whether it be seniors, whether it be our veterans, whether it be anybody that calls me, whether you voted for me or not, I'm there to help you. And I truly mean that when my sign, when it says working for everyone, I truly mean that. I work for everyone. No matter who you are and what you need, I'm there to help you. Well, the reason why I say it's a consequential election in this August primary is because there is nobody on the other side that's going to be running in November. So this election, primary election, is of consequence to the city of Albion and to the residents of the city of Albion. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see you lose your voice. And unfortunately, I have to be honest with you, I think that you may have an opportunity to do that if we don't make sure that we get out and vote August 2nd. And I would appreciate your folks' support on August 2nd, so we can continue to have that voice, we can continue to do the good things that the residents of the city of Albion deserve to have done. So also that you have a very strong voice at the table at the county level, whether it be the ARPA funds that I was able to get for the project out there in McIntosh, to our seniors, to Holland Park, and everywhere in between. The Juneteenth celebrations that I've been so honored to be participating in. Those things matter for your folks here and the residents of the city of Albion. And I want to make sure that I want to continue to do that, but you need a strong voice at the table, at every table, not just at one table, but whether it be for our seniors, for our veterans, and anywhere in between. I'm there for you folks, and I'm there to make sure that we have a strong voice there. So I'll leave it at this. We're at 28 days away, and I would appreciate each and every one of your support so that we can continue the good work that Albion and the city of Albion deserves to have for the residents. You need not your voice to be silenced. So with that being said, hope you guys all have a great evening. I'll be watching you from video this evening when we go home and try to relax a little bit. It's been a very long day for me. We're doing a lot of work, but again, you guys are extremely important to me, and I've been humbled and honored to represent you these last 6 years, and let's hope we can continue to do so. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Yep.
City Commissioner Thompson,
Yes, sir.
what was the contact for help with the taxes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I apologize, sir, that I didn't. You can call 269-781-0807. And there's
0807?
Yes, sir. And there's lots of people that are ready, willing to be able to help whoever they can to make sure that we help them out across the board.
What's the organization?
Calhoun County Treasurer's Office.
Okay.
Yep, the Treasurer's Office right there. And they'll be sure to help if you need need somebody that needs help. They'll certainly be there to help out any way they can. All right?
Thank you.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to leave the room.
No, you're all
Thank
right.
you, folks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any final questions or comments on our agenda items? Are we good? All right. So I will go ahead and ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Study session closed, 6:23 PM.